That is a song called Walkin' the Strings. That's a handful. You're going to love this one. And once you can play it, you're going to really love it because everybody says, boy, that's good when you do that. Strings, speaking of strings, you might be noticing at times that this acoustic guitar has got nickel strings on it. And the reason for that, Travis was a man that really wasn't very technical when it came to things like gauges of strings. I'll give you an example. We were at a folk festival one time, and Travis finished playing, and this kid comes up. He was about 13, 14 years old, eyes real big, you know, and he says, excuse me, Mr. Travis. And Trav looked down and says, yes, sir, what can I do for you? And he says, what kind of strings do you use? And Travis looked over at me, and he looked back at the boy, and he says, son, I use guitar strings. And he gave him a big grin and started walking away. And he looked at me and he says, isn't that the stupidest question you ever heard? What kind of strings do you figure he would think that I use? And I said, well, I think he meant the gauge and all that. And he says, oh, I'd never thought of that. He says, I use the same strings on the Martin and the Gibson Super 400. He says, what he used to like was D'Angelico medium gauge nickel strings. They're electric guitar strings. And he put those on his Super 400 Gibson and also on this Martin. And bronze strings have never sounded right on this Martin. An interesting thing that you'll find out, on my guitars I use John Pierce strings. I just happen to like them. These are John Pierce jazz strings. They're medium gauge jazz strings, and I find that for some reason, whatever the technical reason would be, I don't know, but the nickel strings, medium gauge nickel strings, seem to feel easier to play and lighter even than a light gauge bronze. Why, I don't know, because the bronze string is a smaller gauge and everything, but they always feel a little easier, so you might want to experiment and pick up a set of nickel gauge, medium gauge strings and see what it does for you. Walkin' the Strings that I just played is a song that Travis just did. It's got a bunch of chords and a whole bunch of technique. Now, to do it properly, which I don't, it sounds basically right. You got this, you're going up, it's in the key of F, so you're going up to this F chord that's in the A position. I mean the A position, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but here's an A chord, right? Move it up till it becomes an F, and that's what I'm talking about, which is right up here. Then throw these two fingers down. You've heard that lick, so that's what you're playing. Then swap them out. So that's what your left hand is doing. Now, Travis, once again, those three fingers were planted, and how he did it, I don't know, but he did it at that ridiculous tempo, and he would pull them down. So I hope you're doing that at home, saying, there's nothing to this. I don't know why that guy can't play it. But I just do it, which gives the same sound, but it's not authentic. Then you've got a C chord, and you're doing that thing, that gallop train lick again. So C, B flat, A minor, G minor, then to an F, up to a F7th again with that C on the bottom, B flat to a diminished, same chord, slide. Okay, I'm going to play it once in tempo so you'll have some idea of what I'm doing, and so will I. I'll slow it down a little bit. Hear the gallop? Then the next part, just more chords that you'll see written down. Just C7. So once you get this, the right hand's the whole trick, because you can do about anything, just walking the strings. But that gallop is very important. And it's not doodle-dit, 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 doodle-dit. It's not that. It's doodle-dit, doodle-dit, doodle-dit. So you got the check it, that train thing again. And it's a matter of seeing these chords. Basically, your melody is with the bass string. Then we get into the thumb picking. Here's that chord again. That's just in that basically the D position, except G7th, which plays this way a lot. C, F. Then this next part is go for it. Slide. You're just doing this. So you just try to get to the right fret and end up on the right fret so you sound right. And you do it again. See if you can do it twice in a row. Now there's another break Travis used to take when he'd do this. If you really feel like, if you're not totally worn out, this is great on your left hand. It's a great exercise holding those strings down. He used to come up and go. So in tempo it's. When you put it up, it has a really neat sort of sound. Slide. You'll notice I'm using 2 fingers. Travis didn't. I just kind of like having the harmony. And Travis didn't do that, but it's just, all I'm doing is grabbing whatever the next string is, and it happens to be, since these are all chords, it's in the chord. So, going up your string. So it's basically really easy. The whole thing is finding where those chords are and working on the technique of the. That gallop is the most important part of this whole thing. And slides. Travis was really lazy with it. This chord Travis used a lot. It's nothing but a D7. mute that, or put the C string in there. So that middle part where you heard this chord is, showed you that chord already, the G7. You're doing the gallop again. Okay, let's try doing this thing really slow, that whole first opening lick with all those chords, and then you can play this tape back about 40 times and you'll have them all. You might have it even in 30 times. Now that second part. Do anything there you want. Or Travis. And if you get that, give me a call, because I'd love to hear somebody play it. That's a song called I'll See You in My Dreams. And that's a song that Trav used to, he'd almost always close with that. I've heard it played a number of ways. I've heard him play it a number of ways. But if you're going to do some Travis picking, you've got to learn I'll See You in My Dreams. There's not really a lot to it. There's a couple of new chords, I think, in it. It's in the key of F. He used this a lot. You got these three strings barred, that D is open, and catch these two with your thumb. So you got there's your melody. But don't you try to lift that first finger up just because you're not using that string. Diminished, and sometimes Travis would reach up there and catch that A with his thumb, and other times he'd leave it open. So you're sliding. See what I'm doing there? Not being precise at all. A7th chord, sliding down to this note. You could play it, but he didn't. There's totally open. This is the song earlier I told you that Travis would sometimes just be showing off and he'd stare as he'd play it, and he'd wipe his hand and come back up and everybody say, "Boy, look at that." But here's what he was doing. totally taking his hand off there. So he called it showmanship. That's that D7th chord we talked about. Lift that finger. You could do this, but Travis, I'd see. It's like a diminished without that finger. Do, 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 do. Travis did that a lot. That's that chord again, that B flat. And Travis, once again, one finger. That chord with the thumb over it. Now, if you'll notice, I seem to be alternating the bass a little more than I did on earlier things. Trav would alternate the bass if it was slow and pretty and melodic. But when he caught that bottom note, he'd grab them. That's the same chord as that D7th, except now it's an E7 because it's up here. The melody stays right within that chord too. To an A minor. There's that chord again. Now, Travis loved to play single string melodies when somebody would accompany him, just playing chords. Like if we had a jam session or something, he'd say, "Hey, do you know the chords of such and such?" And I'd say, "Yeah." "Well, play those chords." And he loved the sound of a guitar. Whenever he did the single string, any sort of a single string melody, he would come down almost to about the 12th fret and play it. See the difference in the sound? If you'll notice on his Gibson Super 400 special that he always played, it had that Bigsby tailpiece that was the first tremolo and vibrato for a guitar. He designed that, and Paul Bigsby built it. And as a matter of fact, just a little note here, the original spring was a valve spring from a Harley Davidson, because that's the only thing that would come back in tolerance to keep the guitar still in tune once you wiggled it. And you originally wiggled it this way, and then it'd go all out of tune. So anyway, the point I'm making, he had that big long tremolo that came out here with a ring in it, unlike Chet's that's down here and that you can move out of the way. This long handle came up here with a ring, and he would go up there and hook his little finger in that ring. That would put his thumb right down here in the neck. So he would get that real bell round sort of a sound. So after you do any single string stuff, got to get down in the neck, and then it ends. That's that chord again where you're catching these two. And he would end it with this tag. All that is this chord once again. Starting in the C position. And what you can do is do that gallop. Or you can go, and sometimes you go. Okay, let's play this thing. Do one chorus of it. slide down. Wipe your hand off on your pant leg. Strum like that's real pretty. And slap. Travis is always slapping that guitar. Now, famous Travis roll. It's at D7th. Yeah. Well, that's my version of the bugle call rag. That's one Travis used to pick. That was on the famous Yellow album, the Travis Guitar. And I'm anxious to hear this slowed down so I can figure out how to do this myself, and I'll learn it right along with you. It's in the key of E. Of course, we've capoed up here with a capo on the 2nd fret, which puts it in the key of F sharp. And basically, the lick is the old trumpet lick. So what you're supposed to be doing is that's basically the lick, except it doesn't go that far. See, I'm alternating these fingers. I think Travis actually did it like you would do with a straight pick. I have to play it fast so I can find out how it goes. Okay. This is kind of a strange lesson here. We'll learn it together. That's what I'm doing. As long as it comes out in the right amount of time, you're happening, because it's going by so fast. Just an A chord and pulling those strings off. That E7th with the 9th in it. On that B7th there, we'll call it a B7th because of the capo. Nothing here except feel. Okay, then when you can't get them up, you're playing and pulling. Do, do, pull, off. Then to an A here or here. Whatever you want to do. Now you're just jamming. Just whatever comes into your head, play. It's a rag, so keep it kind of bouncy. Heavy thumb. Now we're going to slow this thing down, which ought to be interesting. The lick is... So it's... E string. Do, 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 do. And it ends. So it... See what I'm doing with this hand? Two, pulling, hitting. So it's pick, pull, pick, pull. But it's kind of neat when it's fast and played right. You can't really hear those strings. Then you're jamming again. You do Roy Clark stuff, doesn't make any difference right there. Then the very end, of course, is taps. And then this beautiful chord at the very top. So we'll try to play this thing, one chorus of it, so we can both see if we can both get through at the same time. Okay, can't get them up. Okay, we're not going to go all the way through this. Let's do that fast lick now, see if we can do it. Here's something I did on the opening of this song. When you get to this chord last time, to a B7th, so you start sliding from a B7th in this position, B9th I mean, on up until you finally get up to where your thumb's hitting that B, then throw the B7th up there. So in tempo it's up. When you get this figured out, put it on a tape and send it to me so I can figure out how to do it. It's an old Civil War song called Farewell My Bluebell. Travis made that pretty famous. It became one of his trademark songs, and that was kind of a shortened version of it. We'll go through it. As you'll notice, everything is pretty much in a chord in this. It's not a lot of movement, it's just pretty. It's in the key of C. Of course, it's actually in D, but we've got the capo up on the 2nd fret. So you can play it in the key of, in the C position. So the song basically goes like this. You'll notice I'm using 2 fingers. Once again, harmony. Let's not use it right now. We'll use it at the end. I just like harmony when I can get a hold of it. Alternating bass on this one. This chord is a different sort of a chord Trav would use every once in a while. D7th down to this old open D. Pretty simple, just a matter of learning the melody and seeing where I'm playing it. Slide again. I'll see you in my dreams chord, remember? So you get that slide. Or you can take the bass on down, like still in the chord, even when it's an E bass. Open, there you go. F, G. It's a little trickier on this bridge. Basically open. Slide. Now here's what I didn't play at the beginning. It's the second part of this bridge. It's kind of neat. It's pretty neat. Let me play that whole little bridge for you, that second part. Okay, so that second part of that bridge, basically the same as the first, but it's got those neat little changes. C, C, F, F, C, F, C. So you're going. See what I'm doing? Changing chords. Now, when Travis recorded the song, he actually overdubbed one time to play a harmony part with himself. But it gives a little different voicing, but if you're just playing by yourself, grab those notes that are right next to it with the second finger and do the ending. that a chord if you want, or this one. Whatever turns you on, do it. Catch both those notes. That's all I'm doing. Travis went, whatever. So you can do it however you want. When you're done, you got Farewell My Bluebell. And a nice D chord at the end in the C position with a second fret capo. I'm going to play you a song now and take the Travis style, One More Generation, which is me, and do a song that I wrote that I kind of started this tape off with. It's called Hangin' with the Girls I Know, because it's something I like to do. And this particular song, you'll notice that my thumb style is basically pretty much the same as Travis. It's a little more articulated, and I use all three of these fingers at times. So let me play this song for you, and then we'll get into how we're doing it. That's Hanging with the Girls I Know. Now let's get into what's different about this and how to play it. Basically, like I say, it's that Travis sort of a thumb. I'm a little more articulated with the thumb. So let's take it right. We'll call this the first movement to make it sound like it's got a little culture about it. Just an E minor chord, and you're going hammering on to that B flat. Okay, watch my right hand here. Wait a minute. And I'm kind of doing that little train thing. Hear that? So that's all you're doing. That repeats. Then we go to what I call the, like the first chorus or whatever. I'm using two fingers, and the thumb. Pulling these two notes right here, sliding. There's that little Travis train thing again, done differently. See? So basically what we're doing is just taking these notes and sliding it. The thumb is doing this with the A chord. And I'm rolling. To an open A. So when you put that together, it's up here on the 10th fret, same strings, slide down to here. So when it's in time, it's those little skip things again. Then down to a G, this G7th chord, but we're just using these two notes again. And sliding our hand, keeping that thumb there on the G. See, I'm doing those little mute things again. Just up to a B7th. So that whole chorus goes roll, just lazy, you know. And I'm picking up and down on that. Then back to the verse again. You'll notice I do that skipping thing a lot. It's just funkier. I like the way it sounds, looser. To a major chord. Okay, what we're going to do now is what I call the second portion, the second verse, the second stanza, the second something. And it's a A minor sort of a thing. It goes like this. Then you're back into it. What you're doing here is an A minor chord. Right there, you're open with the A string and the E string, repositioning your hand into an open A minor situation up here on the neck. So your thumb is remaining doing this all the time. You know. And slide up to that, slide down, again. Repositioning yourself to an E minor chord that's open on the way down. Watch the fingering with my right hand. Both the strings. Again. Then we play a B7th chord, the Travis E9th, A7th, Travis D9th, G, C9th, F sharp to a B9th. So that whole piece goes like this, that second portion. I'm doing with my right hand coming down. I'll do that again. Thumb is still basically boom chuck, boom chuck. Then you're back to the original melody. Then we'd go to the third part, which is very much like that first chorus that went. But this time you got all three fingers here and the thumb. The thumb is remaining playing boom chuck, boom chuck. The three fingers are playing the chord. But I'm sorry. Put that little finger in there. Roll. So we'll do that again. Watch the right hand. That little throwaway note is still in there. Roll. Slide them if you can. And this is exactly the same way as the first time. Then you end with this. Hanging with the girl's eye, hanging with the girl's eye. And that, my friends, is all you have to do with that song. Play it a few times, you'll have a kick doing that, because this is kind of a Les Paul sort of sound, that like multiple guitars. It's all done with the three fingers and the thumb keeping the rhythm. It's basically the same thing we've done the whole tape with the Travis method, but it's just taking it to the next step that's got a little bit of Chet's influence, a little that funkiness of Jerry Reed, you know. Jerry does this sort of thing. So it's a little combination of all of those. So that's about it with this guitar and with those songs, and I hope to see you on the next tape. Thanks, and wind back to the beginning and start this thing over again. You'll learn something. See you later.